All right, looks like we're starting up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Awesemo.com Live Before Lock Show, where we'll be taking you through the day's MLB slate. Just a lot of baseball action today. We've given enough, donated enough to the DraftKings people for the NFL slates this weekend, I'm sure. And now's the time to win it all back with a little bit more predictable MLB. Packing it right in the center of the storm. But Jake, how are you doing? Filling in again for Josh.
Good. Back in my usual Tuesday slot. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to fill in for Josh anytime. So it's kind of crazy. He's going to be gone fighting the hurricane, or getting away from it, not fighting it.
No, fighting it head on. He's literally going to walk up to it and slap it in the face and insult its mother.
And then I got a crazy weekend with like a bunch of weddings and bachelor parties and all this stuff. So it's going to be an interesting way. Things will be switched around, but yeah, I'm excited to do another Tuesday live stream. So huge slate, and I guess a lot of things to talk about that we've already talked about today, and kind of see where we're at. So
can we just point out how you just compared a hurricane evacuation to a couple of bachelor parties?
No, two weddings, bachelor party. I'm just saying for the website, it's pretty kind of a crazy time.
You were like,
just had a
whoa,
merger.
Man. We all have some crazy stuff going on, Josh.
Yeah, no, mine's clearly more important than Josh's. Definitely tweet at him and tell him that he's soft for fighting the hurricane.
Yeah, Josh, Captain Jenks, Josh is building a raft as we speak. Josh is currently getting ready like a Cuban pitcher trying to make it to the shores. Though I think now they can come okay, right? I hope so for the sake of the Cuban pitchers, and we can just get them for free now, right? They don't have to go on a raft. We can just get them and like normal people.
Goodness.
I think.
Oh,
I believe so.
I don't know.
No, that's actually how like El Duque came over, was like on like a $5 raft that he built. And I think now Cuban pitchers, we can actually have a free exchange with them. So good for us. Good for us in baseball. Not good for Josh, but Josh will survive. So send your prayers along with Josh. He's in the chat right now. We're rooting for him. Let's talk baseball though. Jake, we got a Marco Gonzalez slate. We got big Marco, projected to be the top owned guy despite a pitch count that I guess is functional and a matchup that's also functional. What are you doing with Marco, and what are you doing with the rest of the pitchers?
Yeah, with Marco, I think I'm going underweight. The 75 pitches puts into about 5 innings. I mean, if he's able to be efficient and get 7 or 8 strikeouts in that time, then yeah, he's going to kill me. But I mean, he may be fine for 14 to 15 DK points, and I'm fine being underweight. I just don't know where else to go besides Keller. I mean, do you have someone you're going to in that punt range besides Keller or Gonzalez?
I do have a little bit of Keller, who I've gone up to. I tried to mostly get out of that price range if I could. I do have a fair amount of Marco though, just because again, price wise, he does work. I have a little bit of Greinke, who I feel like is up enough where he'll be a differentiation point, and I think Greinke, same reason yesterday for me to go with Godley. I think he might get enough movement there to be safe, and I feel like as a pivot to Gonzalez, at least he's got upside if nothing else. I also have some Covey actually, and I know that's not going to be a popular pick, but I feel like you get a guy going against the Royals. The Royals, have done an okay job recently. My boy Ryan O'Hearn hit a replacement home run for me yesterday, which I'm very happy with. But today, I feel like Covey's shown some improvement, and enough improvement for me to go, all right, let's see how that goes. So I do have a little bit of Covey as my pivot for Marco.
Yeah, the Covey play, that's pretty ballsy. I mean, that's another one where I just don't know how it hurts me. He's not a strikeout guy. It's not particularly a great strikeout matchup against the Royals. I mean, they are bad for sure, but they can at least put the ball in play against righties. Against lefties, it's kind of been a different story for them as of late. But I mean, I guess like if you're punting, you can't really, like I can't really go to Senzatelli. You can't go to either. I understand it he's going to be unowned, and you can't really go to Baraki here either, can you? So
no, I would not want to go to Baraki though. I mean, Baraki. So Covey's strikeout rate. This is me justifying right now. This is not an actual thing. His Ks per 9 have gone up from 6.01 normally to 8.6 the last couple weeks. So he's showing some improvement. This is how you talk yourself into Dylan Covey. Swinging strike rate up from 6.6 to 8.9%. No big deal. Dylan Covey just whiffing them. I don't know. I think, as a Marco pivot, sure. I don't have a ton of him, but I have enough to be noteworthy. And it's still the Royals. I get why the people were stacking the Royals up tonight. I'm just going. Anytime people are stacking the Royals and I could go against them and maybe get a little bit of leverage on the field, I think I'm down to do that. And you're going to get two ways over there.
Yeah, I mean,
you played Dylan Covey.
No, that's understandable too. And God, I just like so many expensive stacks tonight that, like, I'm with the chalk hitting. I'm all over it. I'm usually not, but like I don't really have a super cheap value stack that I want to go in on. I mean, I like Kansas City against Covey, but I think everyone's going to be on them from a value perspective. And then, like, where else do you go for value? Because I'm just not seeing it. I mean, maybe Texas, but God, I just don't like any value hitters tonight. I really want to spend up for the bats, so I'm not getting a lot of DeGrom. I'm getting less Fulte than I would like, and more of guys like Glasnow and Michaelis. I think is fine. Sonny Gray, these kind of guys in the 7 to 8K range.
Yeah, I do think so. One spot I do think you can go at, not at high volume, but it's one that I have a little bit. And again, it is a contrarian thought, as you do often see these stacks that are going completely unowned at the top of the field. I think Baltimore getting Mike Fiers on the way down, I think, is an interesting spot. He's kind of getting back to normal there. I think the team total there obviously is going to benefit the Oakland A's, but I think they can certainly keep it competitive. And I don't know. I think their hitters have been doing better than they are. They've been outperforming their normal season-long averages recently, and I think that's enough for me to say, hey, maybe a little bit of Baltimore. That way you can afford DeGrom and maybe take a flyer on one of those other guys, maybe a Dylan Covey.
What do you think of the Toronto stack with Sale only going a couple innings, and then it's going to be Eovaldi, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I saw.
So Eovaldi's guy who throws mostly fastballs, and he's had he's been rocked a couple times this year for sure. So all these Blue Jays bats are priced like they're going up against Sale. I think that's actually decent value to take some of these hitters like a Gurriel or a Devin Travis batting second. I like Randall Grichuk. I mean, you're not expecting him to do anything in their first at bat against Sale, but if he's only going a couple innings, the rest of their time should be against Eovaldi and non-Sale arms. So I guess I can make the case.
I think so. I like Eovaldi more often than not usually. So I think even if he's coming in, I don't think it's like a great advantage for them. And I think overall, I'm not a big Toronto stat guy in general. I get the logic there, and I think, I've said this before on the stream. Whenever there's an opener type situation, I'm usually avoiding it just because I feel like it gets a little unpredictable after that first couple innings. And I think that's sort of what Sale is today. Is functionally basically the opener. You're gonna get his best stuff for 30 pitches, 40 pitches, and then that's it. And I don't think that's gonna benefit Toronto at all.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
It's a good thought, though. I mean, especially after, we talked about it yesterday, but you just saw Kluber get blown up, kind of a similar pitcher to Sale, and Sale's coming off of an injury. So I think there's a logic there in going to it. It just wasn't one that I'd feel super confident about.
Okay. I just wanted to feel you out there, kind of see where you were at as far as the Toronto stack, because I just can't find any value that I really like. I know Josh was on San Francisco earlier today, but I don't think I can get there against Fulte in that park.
Yeah, me neither. I think San Francisco has definitely been a stay away for me, and then I think both sides of that matchup. I do like going against Suarez, even though Suarez has kind of proven that wrong more often than not his last couple outings. I wanted to get there for Atlanta too, but I think in that park, and with Suarez pitching better, I couldn't get there. So I mostly just kind of stayed away from that game. No Fulte for me, and no Suarez, and no stacks.
Yeah. Let's see. So where are you at for stacks then?
I have too much Tampa Bay because I kind of went against the Bieber in my head versus the Bieber that's on paper, who is sort of an improved Bieber definitely compared to where he was when he first started pitching, starting regularly. Do have some Baltimore. I have a lot of Boston, a little bit of the Yankees. Trying to think who else really popped for me. I have some San Diego just because I think it's worthwhile to go against 20. So I think that pretty much covers most of my main guys.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going Oakland a bunch, Boston. Those are my two top ones, and then I've got Milwaukee, Atlanta, but Atlanta's not even that cheap either. So it's just tough. The Yankees obviously up there. I like Seattle. I know Alex likes Seattle a little bit. And then Coors Field, Arizona, mostly for me. On Coors Field, I actually like Greinke, so I agree with you there. And then Kansas City, just by default, because I need some cheap fillers.
Yeah, Arizona makes a lot of sense, I think, because people are going to be feeling a little burned by the performance yesterday, even though they were going against German Marquez, who we've talked about here. Has just been crazy, crazy elite. All the shows on our YouTube channel have talked about it, that Marquez is really a fantastic pitcher lately. Not wasn't a spot to go against today. Senzatella, a significantly worse pitcher in every possible way. So I do think Arizona tonight, after they let people down, that does seem like a spot I probably should have more of and don't have much of.
Yeah, I mean, Senzatella just cannot miss any bats. He struggles in Coors, as you would expect for a guy that can't miss bats. Ton of balls in play. Giants lineup's just out. But, yeah, I don't know. Senzatella, I like the price, but I just cannot get there. So I think he's going to get wrecked once again.
Jason Kelly, I might be insane, but a leverage stack against DeGrom, just one lineup at least. I think, one lineup for any sort of popular pitcher trying to leverage them, I think makes sense. To me, though, DeGrom, not the guy I would want to go to. And I am a Marlins guy. I have stacked them up a lot recently because they have been hitting better in the back half of the year. But versus DeGrom, I don't see it. DeGrom's well rested. I mean, maybe a couple extra days off will throw him off. I think if you want to think of it like that narrative-wise, sure. But for me, I am not going with the Marlins against DeGrom. How about you, Jake?
No, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, there's guys that I think are good leverage, or there's stacks that I think are okay as leverage stacks, but not against the certified ace like DeGrom on a huge slate. So, yeah, that one's... If that beats me, I'm, whatever. September baseball, anything could happen. But, yeah, I don't think there's a need for that tonight. 2.5 run total pretty much tells me everything I needed to know.
How about Cleveland going against your boy, getting a little chance of redemption, Tyler Glasnow?
Yeah, so Glasnow is interesting. I'm over the field on Glasnow, and then I'm definitely going to be over the field on especially Jose Ramirez, but probably Lindor and Brantley as well, it's looking like. He's someone that can get blown up, as we've seen as recently as his last start. And then if he's not getting blown up, like if he has a good first, a good second, like he's someone that can strike out 8 or 9 guys, as we've seen. I think he did it against Cleveland super efficiently as well, if I recall. So I have a bunch of Glasnow. He's someone that I think is a pretty high upside arm, and there aren't many of them on this slate. So 21% Glasnow on my last crunch.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and I think a redemption start for him too does seem like a thing that I would buy into. Just due for some sort of regression to the mean after he just got bombed last time out, and he is a good pitcher. I think you might be easy to forget that after you give up a negative 15. I give up a really fantastic golf score, as the Chubster pointed out. But yeah, I think that I'm with you on Glasnow. I'm not playing him, but I do think that makes sense. I think Glasnow is good enough to limit my Indians exposure, so I didn't really go there, but I didn't believe Glasnow was going to do enough.
He's really bad at holding runners. That's why I like Ramirez and Lindor, and Brantley too, for that matter. It's going to be, like, if those guys are getting on, you could see double steals and just them running all over him, and that's going to be trouble. So that's why I like both sides of it.
Choi is a great pivot off of Pierce at the same price. I like Choi. Choi is really paying off all the trust I put in him earlier in the year, which did not pay off. But he hit a game winner yesterday. He's looking at a fun little celebration dance. I like G-Man Choi. I think if you're going to go against Bieber tonight, he is definitely a part of the stack. I would much rather go him than CJ Cron, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Him over CJ Cron for sure. We have all the lineups in now? We all set?
We might.
I think we are.
Maybe not
Atlanta.
The Angels.
No, the Angels are.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like. Why does every site have Jose Miguel Fernandez incorrectly labeled? Like every website, like he's wrong on Fangraphs, he's wrong on Fantasy Labs. But they're different mistakes. It's the most annoying thing in the world when entering lineups.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what that second website you mentioned was, but
I mentioned them freely because I still like them, but. I guess whatever. You can call them a competitor if you want. It's all part of the rich ecosystem. You can subscribe to many things. You should subscribe to all of them.
I agree.
Choi
I think you should consider subscribing if it's within your monetary constraints.
Yeah, I agree. Win enough money so you can buy all the websites. But yeah. Speaking of things you can buy, we do have the free preview still going on of Fantasy Cruncher. It will be going until the 14th. Our special white label version on the awesemo.com website. Sign up for a premium account now. Get a free 1-week trial. Again, Fantasy Cruncher will be there until the 14th. Then it'll be a premium add-on after that. But you'll still get 1 free week of our ownership projections and rankings and some of Awesemo's articles, the deeper dive, a lot of good premium content out there for both MLB and NFL. So go sign up now. Promo code Strategy Show will get you 1 free week trial. It's promo code Strategy Show, 1 free week, and Fantasy Cruncher for 3 more days. So get in there now while getting's good. We are going to do home runs too in 5 minutes. I don't know if we'll have the Chubster's pick because he is currently packing up his life, but Jake and I will persevere. Jake and I are currently tied at 20 home runs on the year. I actually did the math. We're at like about a 30% hit rate, which is also, or maybe closer to 40. No, I think it was closer to 30. I didn't actually save it. But it was around 30%. So we're doing about as well as you can. Our rates are obviously very close. Josh is way far behind. He has 3 home runs back.
Yeah, so far behind. Definitely can't make that up.
Nope, no chance. No chance in the remaining month. Not 3 weeks. 3 weeks, give or take.
3 weeks, man. That's crazy. Yeah, we got that in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, we got that in 5 minutes. How much is the add-on price, Spags? We don't know yet. They're still figuring out the math. Our business people are really crunching all the numbers available, probably using Fantasy Cruncher. They're optimizing all the projections and developing a price for it. But that announcement will be coming soon, and it will be cheaper than the regular Fantasy Cruncher, obviously. So it'll still be a deal if you do currently have an account with them. Let's see. Josh is packing up his wife. His wife is a strong, independent woman who does not need to be packed up. If anything, she's probably packing up him.
He's in the chat.
Oh, there we go. Josh's home run pick is in. It's in early.
There you go.
Matt Olson. There we go. So, you know what? I'm not playing a lot of Oakland tonight.
Ooh, I love Oakland. And it's not even because of Cobb as much. I mean, I like stacking against Cobb. He has been a ton better, though. It's because of how bad Baltimore's bullpen has been. It's just worst xFIP in the league by quite a bit over the last 30 days. And even if you go back to the beginning of August, I mean, they're just not a good team. Just no pitching, Cobb included. So I love all these power guys against Cobb and that awful bullpen.
Yeah, no, you're probably right on this one. I don't know. Oakland is just one of those teams I feel like I never have a lot of. I don't really have a good reason why. They just always kind of are outside of my purview, and I think I kind of talk myself into Cobb enough as the pivot point for Gonzalez that probably stupidly so. Because I'm with you, looking at the numbers, Oakland looks very good. Laureano hitting leadoff too looks extra good, I would think. Yeah, no, you're probably right. You and Josh's home run pick are probably right on this one.
Don't give up that easy.
No, I mean, look, I'm going contrarian. A lot of people have been touting Oakland today, so maybe they'll be higher owned than our projections currently have. That would be my hope.
Yeah, I mean, I love them. I'm going to be over the field. It's just too good of a spot, in my opinion. So, yeah, absolutely adore Oakland. Yeah, I mean, for all the reasons that I said. So they're going to be my highest exposed stack.
You see Michael Wilmoth, bullpen won't matter if Cobb goes a complete game shutout. I agree, Michael. It won't matter at all when Alex Cobb, noted great pitcher, does that today.
I mean, fair statement, but also incomplete. He's not going to
very
complete
unlikely
game shutout. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's more likely to throw 4 innings of 15 hit ball. It's much more likely. But hey, you got to play the.
I mean, I'll take 5 innings of Alex Cobb ball if he's going to give up 5 dongs, which is possible in this park and against this team. He's not getting strikeouts. The ball's going to be in play, and you always hear me reference it. I love.
You know, you're right. They're going to be one of the fades that I regret, but I'm still fading them because, hey, once we're on this show, my picks are in. That's just how it goes for me. So, whatever. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, no, I think Oakland is definitely the team. I mean, we do this segment sometimes. Oakland is the team I'm currently afraid of fading currently that I am doing heavily. Let's do our home run picks. Josh's home run pick is in. He is going with Matt Olson in this Oakland game that we're talking about. Who do you want to go with, Jake?
I'm actually going to that same game, so you just heard me spew for 5 minutes about Oakland. It'd be wrong if I didn't take a homer from their team, so I will go with Matt Chapman.
Ooh, two Matts. Double the Matts, double the fun.
Yeah, I'm not even doing that to troll Josh. I think we're both getting a Don pick there. So, you want to pick a third Oakland A?
No, because I don't believe in them. But one guy I do believe in, who I'm glad to go back to, and I'm glad he's turned his career around after being an alum of my picks, Ji-Man Choi. Welcome back to the team. Carry on your momentum from last night. Game-winning walk-off home run. No, obviously that means he'll do it every time he goes up to the plate. Ji-Man Choi. You're my dude.
Ji-Man Choi. Hey, by the way, we should mention, you guys, on Fantasy Country, they did not X out the Washington-Philly game. So pay attention to that. You need to manually do that, at least as of now. So pitchers, hitters, all that. Those points will not count tonight.
Oh, Jake should have taken, from our boy Zach Jameson, Jake should have taken Davis again to take him to victory. You could have had Chris Davis. You bet you're going to regret that.
Maybe. I think he probably gets one too. But so, man, we got a sharp chat in here. Logan Forsythe. Davis. There we go. Everyone knows, man. I guess we've been doing this for a few months. People kind of know our personalities, who we're on and off and such. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, people have learned a lot. I mean, I do think sometimes you go into some of the other chats and even, some of the Slack chats that I've seen that are DFS sports related, not ours, obviously, that one's great. But a lot of guys are just so pick focused and so whatever. And obviously, we do make picks here and we do tell you which guys are the best. But, a lot of people I've seen kind of get smarter with how they think about slates and kind of think about the different angles. And that's sort of the main thing we do try to push here more than anything, is you have to view these slates as more than just picks. They're just different ways to approach and attack and find weaknesses and ownership and stuff like that. So you guys are all really smart in summation. Good job.
Yeah, I think it's also added a lot where like Laffy and Adam are into like the actual baseball. Not that we aren't, but they just know more about baseball than I think we do. And whereas we're trying to more leverage ownership and such, they just like really have a good knowledge of the game. So these last few weeks I've learned a lot, and I'm sure the audience has. So I'm sure our numbers will continue to grow.
Hey, Michael is asking, hey guys, what is your Rays exposure?
Rays exposure? I did not have Rays as a full stack. So all my Rays exposure would come in the form of a 2-man stack.
I do have a fair amount of Rays, Michael. The exact number I don't know offhand, but definitely, I'd say probably in the neighborhood of, the Raiders are bringing back Martavis Bryant.
What?
What a stupid, that team. They needed another receiver, but what a stupid team.
Why are they bringing back Martavis?
Because they need somebody else out there. Seth Roberts is not a good enough player to play as many snaps as he did, and Cooper was barely visible yesterday too. Interesting. Jared Cook, though, fucking elite.
Yeah, okay, so people were taking victory laps after, if you're going to say, yeah, and he catches a long one. You can say your pick was sick, but season long? Just saying he was tight end 15 because he had a 20-yard catch? Come on, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think that we got so many targets, and I think it was a weird week, and there were some articles that I've seen written about it, and obviously we'll talk more NFL later on the other various NFL-specific shows. But, yeah, I think the thing that was interesting to me was, like, you saw a bunch of running backs get 10 to 15 targets. Even yesterday in the same game, you had Rashard getting over 10 targets for the Raiders. It's like a very risk-averse approach to for every team besides the Kansas City Chiefs. They're all throwing it straight to tight ends, straight to running backs, whatever the lowest friction pass they can make is what they're trying to do. And I thought it was interesting. I think Cook is a great play for season long, and I'll definitely have him in DFS too in the future.
Miles Michaelis in play tonight. Corsi asks. I know Corsi, so we can answer that. For me, yeah, I like Michaelis a lot. I have him as tied for my most exposed pitcher with Brad Keller. So not the most dynamic duo, but guys that I think are somewhat safe. I mean, Michaelis more than Sale. I think Michaelis is a good real-life pitcher, more in the Kyle Hendricks mold than the Max Scherzer mold. Like, he's not going to go out and strike out everyone here, but I think he's got a decent chance at 3 to 4 strikeouts and going 6 or 7 innings. So he's really good at going deep into games. I mean, you can just see it in the box scores. Does a good job limiting hard contact, especially to righties. Now, the Pirates rolled out a pretty good lineup against him, but 3.5 run total against the Cardinals, whose bullpen has not been good, is pretty telling to me. So Vegas likes Michaelis. I'm on Michaelis. But yeah, I like him.
I think on the slate where there's a lot of cheap pitchers who might get blown up, I think that's kind of the time when you go to Michaelis. So I agree with you that he is sort of an interesting play in that perspective. I don't love him though in general. I mean, just very little strikeout upside, and I think for me, he's always priced a little too high for what he does. As far as I kind of view him. So I think I get the logic on this slate, but I didn't get there. But it makes sense. It does make sense.
Yeah, Michaelis' value. I agree. He's just a little bit underpriced, maybe 1,000 underpriced or so, and I'll take safety on this slate because I'm really spreading around my pitcher exposure, and I'm actually not getting to enough Fulte or DeGrom just because the cruncher prioritizes bats based on my projections. So it should be interesting. Need one of those expensive stacks to go nuts. Otherwise, like if Toronto goes nuts, I'm probably not winning anything. But I need Boston or Oakland especially to go off here. And I'm pretty certain that one of those things is going to happen.
Thoughts on Matt Carpenter tonight? I guess thoughts on the Cardinals overall, but Matt Carpenter specifically.
Carpenter's the one guy that I really like against Musgrove. So yes to Carpenter. Musgrove, I know Adam was on Musgrove, and I understand it. I just didn't really get there myself. And he's pretty low owned, so that's a guy that you definitely could consider. I think I prefer Glasnow in that range. But I obviously respect Adam as a player, and he gave really good analysis and reasoning for his play. So if you guys were watching that and that's what you were asking me about, I don't love the Musgrove play, but I certainly understand it against a bunch of righties for the Cardinals.
Yeah, so I am on Musgrove too. I think he's an interesting pivot off of some of those higher priced guys. And I think he has good upside. I mean, I think we've talked before. I am a little biased towards Pirate pitchers for some reason. I don't really know why. But they do grade out pretty well. And I think, there are some guys who've been hitting it well on the Cardinals side, but I think it's a winnable matchup for Musgrove in a park, which is also going to benefit him a little bit. So I don't mind Musgrove as a play. I think he's been getting some good movement on his pitches as well. His swinging strike rates have kind of trickled up every start that he's had for the most part. So to me, I think that would be the reason to go with him. And he does have some strikeout upside, I think, in this matchup. So, yeah, I'm okay with Musgrove. Yeah, strikeout rate, swinging strike rate, rather, up to 14.7%. Chase rate up to 41.9% his last 14 days. Whip down to 1.05. XFIP down to 2.3. And his strikeout is Caper 9 up to 10.9, just about 11. So, I don't know, 3% owned. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, he's just a little overpriced for me. I'd rather take a shot with Glasnow, and that's reflected in my pitching ownerships.
Yeah, I think Glasnow has better stuff, but I think this is a more winnable matchup for Musgrove. Like a more easily winnable matchup.
I agree.
Favorite one-off from the Bo Sox? Gotta be Betts, right? I think it would be Betts for me, but very closely followed by Bogarts. Bogarts has been smashing lately.
It's Betts, yeah. I mean, literally Betts, Pierce, and JD are all going to be three of my highest owned players on the slate. So even when I'm not full stacking Boston, I will have pieces of them on the majority of my lineups.
Somebody asking about Seattle weather. Well, McCott asking, worried about the weather in Seattle. It's right on the site that won't be named. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they have that as that, but it's a dome, so it shouldn't be a concern.
Oh, it's outside, I think, technically, is how the stadium is, but it's covered. So you're not going to have to worry about that unless it's like just something ridiculous happening.
Raining horizontally.
Yeah.
It is possible. It's a windy city. But yeah, no, there is a protective thing there. So I don't know. They should probably note that. But yeah, no, I thought the same thing too, McCall. You're okay. Don't worry about it. You're one of the good ones. Let's see. Flowers or Zunino at catcher. We haven't talked much about the Braves. I guess we can do some either ors, whatever. People have either ors. Fuck it. Flowers or Zunino at catcher. No site given.
Flowers. I love Flowers tonight against Andrew Suarez. I hate the park, but I love everything else. Suarez gives up so much hard contact to righties. Flowers has been crushing lefties. WRC plus well over 200 on the season against them. He's pretty cheap too, 3,400, and I think he's going to be somewhat low owned. So, but we should mention Sale is on a pitch count. Don't play Chris Sale. He's at 40 pitches.
Yes.
Don't play Chris Sale.
Don't play Chris Sale.
Your answer to the Zunino Flowers?
I think Flowers is a better hitter. I think Zunino's in a better spot, and obviously, if you're talking about a one-off too, he's more likely to get a home run and just be useful in that respect. So I'd probably go Zunino, but I do think Flowers is a better player. So just missed. Olsen or Pierce for a first baseman on DK. Both are part of the stack.
Oh God. Both part of the stack. So you're stacking Boston, Oakland. Who are your pitchers? Keller and Suarez. Anyways, yeah. I think I would go Pierce there. I think I would go Pierce, but those are 1 and 2 as far as first base exposure for me.
I too would go Pierce. I think Pierce is a good in a very good spot, and Olsen. I mean, I'm fading Oakland, so I got to ride with that, whether I think that's the right choice or not at this point.
Yeah.
Steve Pierce, ride or die.
And I don't think you're like stupid for fading Oakland. There's, maybe if there was no Boston and no New York, the Yankees on the slate, then I'd be like, what are you doing not playing Oakland? But there are certainly good pivots and pivots that have higher run totals than Oakland. So, no, I think if you're making a stand and you're fading one of those three, I think you're doing it right, especially with limited lineups. You don't play 150, so.
Yeah, no, just with 20, I feel like you got to make those choices sometimes, and usually end up making that choice and just being like, well, here I am. Here's my stand for the day. And that was the one that I landed on, but hey, whatever. Anything's possible in baseball. Woo. Is Marco going to stay chalky in GPPs? Adam Burse is asking. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I think he will be. He's going to come up in every optimizer, whether you use Fantasy Cruncher or whatever. Just name any optimizer. He's going to come up. Because you're using stats from this year, and he's been fine this year. Actually really good at times. So 5,400 is just going to look like a really good value, and it is, but 75 pitches worries me a little bit. I just don't like when guys are capped that low. So I just think his upside is super, super limited.
Yeah, look, I love a good cheap pitcher, like a good guy under 6,000, or, I mean, really any guy under 6,000. I just love a pitcher. I can talk myself. Look, I talk myself into Alex Cobb. I could talk myself into anybody. But, yeah, for me, I think if a guy's going to be that highly owned, that's when I look for leverage for the most part. Like, I'll definitely still have some exposure, but nowhere near 40% or 50%. I don't see the point in that. I don't think it's a value add, even if you don't think Keller is good. I'd rather just go up a little more expensive and differentiate there.
Shortstop, 3,600 on DK. I'm seeing shortstop, 3,600. Do you have one that you like?
I'll look, but that's very cheap. I mostly paid up for Bogarts today. Freddie Galvis got bumped for it. He was supposed to hit leadoff, and now he's down to 8th, so that kind of ruins him.
Yeah, he was the guy. I mean, I still like Galvis a little bit, but I mean, no one's going to be on him for that price and going up against Marco. So, I don't even know. That's a tough question. I don't know where I would go for 3,600 or less.
I have a lot of Rays, so I'd probably go with Adames, I guess. But again, the lefty matchup versus Bieber is really the better spot. But I think Adames is a good enough hitter, so I guess I'd go with Adames.
Yeah, I'm still scrolling through trying to find a $3,600 shortstop that's even playable. Adames, someone on Aledmus Diaz. Tim Beckham's not in, obviously. Wow, that's really tough. I thought I'd be able to find one right away, but I seriously, I guess I would have to go Adames with you, unless I'm just completely missing something.
McCott asked, it's not a great spot. Yeah. Pay up for Bogarts.
McCott asked who I'm fading, so I'm guessing just who I X'd out. Oh, Lourdes Gurriel, you can play him at shortstop. Yeah, I like that better, leading off. Pitchers I'm completely fading. Yeah, so I pulled that up for you, McCott. Here we go. It is. I'll just name them off. Guys I completely X'd out of my player pool. Sale, all the guys in the Nats game. Eovaldi, Baraki, Chacin, Fires, Cobb, Fetty, obviously, Senzatella, Johnson, Mitchell, Covey, Duffy, and Sampson.
All right. Let's see. Thoughts on Braves versus San Francisco? I feel like we talked around that, but I guess what are your thoughts on the Braves stack going against Suarez in a pitcher's park?
Yeah, I mean, I have both sides of that. So I have a little bit of Suarez, I think around 10%, which is fine. He's not someone I want to decide my night anyways. And I thought he would be higher owned than what we have him right now. I guess I didn't see where he was on the last update. But yeah, like under 10%, healthily under 10%. It's a really good park for pitching. so obviously really bad for hitting. And I like Flowers, I like Camargo and Acuna, and I hate playing lefties against Suarez, but I think I can make an exception for Freddie Freeman that cheap for 4,400. So you can get to a 4 or 5 man stack here. I think that's going to be virtually unowned for the Braves, and I do have exposure to that.
Are a good enough team that you don't want to you don't necessarily want to roster pitchers against them a ton. I think I would hope people realize that by now. The Braves have only gotten better as the season's gone on, and you've seen them kind of go up the rankings as teams hitting averages and all that. So I don't know. Like I would assume that's the reason why they're not getting a ton of ownership, and the pitcher's park thing. People know, to avoid San Francisco. But
yeah.
But hey, going against Suarez anytime, I can support that, at least in some volume.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Do you like Bieber today for a low-owned pitcher with upside? He's not going to be low-owned, Captain Jenks.
Yeah. So I mean, if he was going to be low-owned, yeah, I would be all over him. Well, not all over him, but I'd have more exposure to him. But I'm coming in under the field pretty significantly. On my last crunch, I had him at 8%, and he's supposed to be about triple that, it looks like. So.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair move. What do you think of a Pittsburgh stack? I assume you're not going to be in favor of that going against Mikolas, or Mikolas. Sorry, damn it.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
I corrected myself though. I got it.
I feel like I'm just like constantly standing up for Mikolas, like his pronunciation.
Well, I remember ever since Josh told me it's like Mikolas, like it's not Urkelis, it's Mikolas.
Yeah, it's mine. Because we actually looked that up on a strategy video earlier in the season, because we just kept like making idiots out of ourselves, like trying to pronounce it, and we would never have any continuity with it. So we just finally looked it up on one time when he was pitching. So.
Now we know. It's firmly Mikolas. But I assume you don't have any Pirates, though, going against Mikolas.
No Pirates stacks. I mean, I'm sure Dickerson snuck in there as a one-off here and there. But, yeah, none of those guys really graded out that well for me on the Pirates, besides Dickerson.
Let's see. People asking about Joe Musgrove again. Let's circle back to old Joe Musgrove. I mentioned before, guys, Chris and Brandon T. I like Joe Musgrove. I think he's a good pitcher. I am sort of biased towards Pirate pitchers for reasons unclear, but I always find them to be pretty interesting. Musgrove's swinging strike rate's up a ton. His chase rate's up a ton. He's been a better pitcher recently, so I do like him, even though the Cardinals do have some tough hitters on that side. But I am on Musgrove. Jake, Musgrove thoughts?
Yeah, I just didn't end up there. I think I'm going with my exposure in that area to Tyler Glass now. So someone that I think people are sour on, which is understandable after getting completely destroyed his last start. But yeah, I just didn't end up on Musgrove. But I certainly understand it against all these righties against the Cardinals.
Michael L, 9 likes. Come on, guys. Let's hit the like for all this great info. I agree. Hit the like button. We give you home run picks. We give you all of our thoughts and crunches and all that. So we don't really like pandering for likes here, but it's just good manners to throw a like if you're going to watch our stream. But we appreciate everybody who does and everybody who's watching, and all the live chat people, too. We appreciate your participation and giving us some things to talk about. Would you favor Gonzalez or Keller in a cash game for Brandon Parker? Our one cash game question for the show. You know us too well, Brandon. I appreciate that.
Keller. I think Keller has a better theoretical floor, because if what's his name? If Gonzalez has one bad inning where he's throwing 25 pitches, you not only want floor, you want your guys to have a little bit of upside at that price. And Keller can go 100 pitches, and we know Gonzalez isn't going to even sniff 100 pitches. So the strikeout matchup is pretty similar, and Keller's not coming back from injury. So there's another unknown for Marco. So for me, it'd be Keller.
Yeah, I do think there's a bit of danger for Keller in this matchup. I think with the White Sox, I do think the White Sox have a couple hitters who can make your day bad. I think obviously Garcia jumps off as a guy who might be able to do some damage to Keller for me. But I think Jake's approach is right. If you think Marco is going to struggle at all, ownership-wise, I think Marco would be the play. But if you want to make that pivot and then go chalky with your stacks, I think then you should go Keller. But if your stacks are a little more contrarian, then I would probably go Marco and just ride with the field there. Outfielder for 3,700 or cheaper on DK. Who would you go with?
Let me see. Find $300 more and go to Steve Pearce. No, it's $3,700.
might be Jake Bowers for me.
Batting eighth? You like that?
Batting eighth, not the best, but I do think that he's in a pretty good spot, and it seems like he's maybe figuring out his hitting stroke a little, which is why they bumped him down there. He just had a cold streak, so I think he's on the way back up. That'd be my hope.
3,700. Man, all these guys are like 38 and 3,900. I was just looking at Alex Gordon. We just talked about...
that's the other part of it, too.
Yeah, we just talked about Keller, but I do like some of the lefties against him, like Delmonico's 3,300. I think that's definitely an option I would consider if I'm looking for $3,700 and cheaper. Man, that's tough. Outfield is so stacked today that I'm going to try to stay out of the sub 4K range as much as possible.
Yeah, I don't see anybody like Margot, but he's in the 9-hole, and that's not great. Pinder, if you are going to play the Oakland stack, I think makes sense. But I'm again, like I said before, I'm playing a lot of Tampa Bay stacks, so that's why. For me, the dude is Bowers. But yeah, Pinder, I think makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I'm playing Oakland stacks, but it's not because of Chad Pinder. It's because of all the
No,
other
it's not. You sure?
It's not. Crazy enough.
Like, keep an open mind towards Chad Pinder. Don't hinder Chad Pinder.
Yeah, exactly.
Chad Pinder. Yeah, Chad Pinder. You know what? Chad Pinder's a good player. He's definitely not as good as the other guys. He's a good player, though. He deserves some respect.
Oh, I love Pinder against lefties. Absolutely love it. And no one plays him when he bats like 7th.
If you want to get some either ors in, guys, get them in now. Do you guys like Romine as a cheap way to get into the Yankees stack at catcher? Not for me, no.
I mean, it's not even that cheap, right? Isn't he 3,700?
I didn't even play him, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's 3,700. I don't know. I would go down to Flowers and spend your $300 elsewhere.
I would go down to Sandy Leon and save even more.
Perfect. Either way. I know those guys are going to be, I know Romine's going to be, or I think he's going to be more owned than Flowers. So.
Oh, great. I hear my dog throwing up in the bedroom. That'll be fun to clean up.
What did you feed him or her?
She just has, some days she just doesn't want to eat in the morning and then makes herself throw up. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what damage a fun thing to look forward to once the MLB slate starts. Michael L's got 40% A's stacks. You are the opposite of me today, Michael L.
40%? Okay. I mean, I don't think you need to make that big of a difference. So I have 150, and I capped everyone at 20%. A's hit their caps. Red Sox almost hit the cap. And then everyone else after that is kind of around 10 or so. Milwaukee and the Yankees. We got some Angels in there. Royals. Yeah, so everyone else is around 10. But yeah, took a pretty big stand on Oakland, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If the team stack isn't over 15%, I mean, the highest stack player, according to our ownership projections, at least the most recent ones that I have on here, is 15%. So you don't really need to go to 40 to get enough leverage on the field.
Yep.
Somebody asking about Jeremiah asking about the 4, 5, 6, 7 stack of the Red Sox on FanDuel. I don't know about on FanDuel specifically. But that has Bogarts in it, so I like it already. Bogarts is my favorite play of the day, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not my favorite player on the Red Sox, but I wouldn't be like, why are you playing Xander Bogarts?
I just have him in the most lineups because I don't believe in anybody else at shortstop today at any sort of depth.
Got it. Yeah.
And I also think he's under-owned in that stack, too. He's only 7%, at least in the most recent ownership that I have.
Okay. That's fair. I'm not chastising you for that.
No, stop chastising me, Jake. No, you're right. He's not a great value. I mean, his price is up, but I think his price is justifiably up. And I just think he's going to be in a good spot hitting cleanup with this lineup. Somebody's going to be on base for him, and then we'll see what he does then.
Hope he does well. That would be good for
I'll show you guys. Me and Xander, we'll show you all.
You and Xander versus the world.
Yeah, that's how it is. He's the Bonnie, I'm the Clyde, or probably vice versa, if we're being honest. 20 Rick, do you sleep with socks on or no socks? No socks for me.
No socks for me. I used to be a socks guy until high school, and then someone told me to try it, and life changing. Never gone back since.
Yeah, I need the freedom. I don't go. I still keep boxers on, but in general, the less layers, the better. I don't want to be constricted.
I don't know how you sleep naked even. that just seems uncomfortable to me.
I feel like it's mostly girls who sleep naked. I need some help there. I don't want to be just free to the world. What if somebody robs me? Then I have to like fight somebody naked? I don't need that in my life.
Congrats on the sex, Chris.
Yes, yeah. If I got robbed and we're fully nude, it would, I'm sure, degenerate into a Brazzers film very quickly. What's your favorite alcoholic beverage? Before we answer some more either ors.
I like vodka and soda. I really do.
Healthy.
It's just a cleaner drink. Like, it just makes me feel better. Like I can't drink that much beer for whatever reason. I have a gluten intolerance, so.
If you don't take in a lot of gluten, you're definitely gonna have a gluten intolerance. Like, I've noticed that whenever, like, right now I'm not eating carbs because I just had a really bad run at the end of the summer, and you feel so much better almost instantaneously. Like, you feel less bloated, you feel better, you feel like, yeah. I don't know, like within seconds, and it's rather days, not seconds. Seconds might be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But I love beer and stuff. I still love beer, love pizza, all that. But it is a better life choice.
Yeah, for health reasons too. I can't have gluten as much as the average person. So
yeah,
beer is not a big thing for me.
Yeah, and otherwise drinks, mimosas are a big one. I am a big brunch guy, so mimosas are pretty high up there. But beer is definitely the most ingested.
I can get on board with the mimosa for sure.
It's a gentleman's. It's a nice drink, a nice couple drink. Lovely. All right, you get your either ors in. We got 8 minutes left to lock. Let's take one more weird question. Favorite cartoon show as a kid? Jake, this is going to be a very different question for you than it is for me.
Cartoon show? SpongeBob. I mean, that's not even close. SpongeBob. What about you?
Probably Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters in terms of like the effect on my life and how into it I was. Probably.
Okay. I never got into that.
I used to watch those a lot. I had all the toys and shit.
My brother did. So I think I was just a couple years too late. My older brother.
Yeah, you're probably more Power Rangers territory or a little after that.
He was more Power Rangers than me. I was a big SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents guy. Fairly Odd Parents, very underrated show. SpongeBob gets all the credit, but don't forget about my boy Timmy Turner.
That's right. Only one of those who has a rap song named after him. Timmy Turner. Let's see. Baseball. Lucroy or Leon? Who would you go with?
Leon.
It is Leon for me too. NBA DFS or MLB DFS?
Well, I don't play NBA DFS, so I would say NHL over both of those, but it would be MLB since I'm an absolute fish in NBA.
NBA is the one that I'm best at, so NBA for me. But hopefully NFL will get there. How old is Spax? Spax is 33 and turns 34 in a month. So, God, I just want to jump off a bridge. But spiritually much younger, and also in terms of life choices, much younger. Sonny Gray for a FanDuel GPP. Would you do it?
Sonny Gray for FanDuel? I would really be trying to get to Fulte or DeGrom on FanDuel. You need to make that pitcher slot count. Not that Gray doesn't have any upside, but I would really be forcing my way to some Fulte and DeGrom. I think Gray's fine. I mean, as you can tell, I don't have a super strong take on him, but I would probably rather go Glass now if they're priced similarly over there.
Any love for Quintana today? I have a couple Quintana lineups just price-wise because it made sense, but I wouldn't say I have love for him. The Brewers are a tough team, but how about you, Jake?
No, I X'd Quintana out. I actually have Brewer stacks.
That's right. I forgot you said that.
Cubs bullpen has not been that great over the last 30 days. I think they're bottom 5 xFIP in that time, and I'm just not a Quintana guy. I'm not a Lester guy. I guess if you're a lefty Cubs pitcher, I just hate you by default. So I'm keeping that narrative alive tonight.
Brandon T, I only played NBA, but you guys got me in MLB. Same thing for me, Brandon T. Well, actually, no, I played NFL too, but only work got me in MLB, and then having a job really allowed me to dedicate myself into spreadsheets and staring at them like we're doing real work, but we're not.
Yeah, I mean, so MLB is it is an absolute grind, and if you're doing all the content for it, it seems a little repetitive, and it's just a really long season. And the quality of game, it's not like the quality of game goes up as you go on through the season, because there's only a few teams that are left to actually play for something. So just a lot of crazy stuff, even more variance, I think, in this last month or so. So you really, really got to dig in and be committed to the last few weeks of the season if you want to be profitable, I think.
Yeah, I feel like whenever I miss a weekend, there's always some new guy who's in the lineups for Monday, and I'm like, fuck, like, who is this dude?
I know, right?
Like, Brian O'Hearn came on, and like, now I'm picking him for home runs. But that first week, I was like, well, he's hitting 400? Like, what's
right?
Who are you? What's going on? Him and Billy McKinney.
Betts or Trout?
Betts.
Well, I mean, in terms of a better baseball player, Trout is, but tonight, I think Betts.
Yeah, I would assume he meant tonight. I like Betts much more for tonight, but yes, I agree that Trout's a better baseball player. Any rain in Mets Marlins? Jake, any weather at all that we should be afraid of after we've been burned so many times?
Yeah, that's the thing, too. It's just like you get done with the slate or you get done like researching and it's like, oh, sweet, now I'm going to put my lineups in. And then you realize there's a storm coming that wasn't supposed to happen and it's coming right
Tell me
at
about it.
7:15 Eastern, or the field isn't ready because they forgot to put on a tarp.
It's 2 slates in a row for me, Jake. I've lost 80% of my lineups because of weather shit. That didn't seem like a postponed, and then it was.
That is ridiculous. It's just,
yeah.
It's crazy stuff happens in baseball, and you get burned one too many times, it seems like. But I'm not worried about that game. I don't have a lot of exposure to that game either, so that's also why I'm not really worried about it. But I'm not changing anything if that's what they're wondering.
Yeah, no, I have a little bit of DeGrom. I mean, enough DeGrom. I'm probably a little under the field, but I have enough him. I'm not taking him out. I don't really. But
Quintana, I have 1 share out of 150. So if that's the hedge I needed, thanks Fantasy Cruncher for not letting me X him out.
That is a very legit commitment to transparency that you will only find on Awesemo.
I mean, I just I've had it happen where it's like, oh, you didn't mention him on the slate, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to mention the guy I get 1 out of 150 on, but just to be transparent, I don't share my screen like Josh, so that's the best I could do.
I am legitimately not playing any Oakland A's, and if you are in the Corridor Arcade on DK tonight, you can see all 20 of my lineups not have any Oakland A's in it. Wave goodbye to them as you pass them on today's slate, as Matt Olson and Matt Chapman both hit double dongs. Assholes. A little bit of overlay in the $8 rally cap if you want to get in and try to win $50K. A lot of people probably spent their bankroll on NFL, perhaps some of us did.
Yeah, I almost blew my wad on NFL too, but I won a bunch back on the last night slate. Gurley wasn't even that great either, and I had 100% with the 100 lineups, so made a good profit.
Yeah, I think you still had to have him. I didn't see how it shook out at the end because I was so dejected by not playing enough Jared Cook and not playing enough Enunwa. I didn't see how. I think you still had to have him anyway, I would assume.
Yeah, there's not really overlay, I wouldn't call it, in the rally cap. I mean, it's not like you're playing rake free or anything. It's just not going to fill.
Okay. So a little money out of DK's pockets. Take that, DK. We'll show you.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a Sunday slate this year in April that didn't play because it was too cold in Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City does get a little brisk sometimes.
So it gets brisk here in Minnesota. It's
football is so boring. I would say this weekend really proved. So I put together my stats. I've been mentioned to Jake. I think I said it on the stream, but whatever. Fucking my brain is farting already. I've been updating my sheet again and trying to get it prettied up a little. And I've been reviewing some of the defensive stats already. Boy, that week was real fucked up. That first week, every team was bad defensively, almost across the board. It was really something where I was not prepared to see statistically. So I think NFL, if anything, is pretty far from boring this weekend. Lots of scoring.
Yeah, that was surprisingly good football, it seemed like. I mean, I watched Red Zone, so whatever. Usually the first week or so is maybe first couple weeks is just awful quality football, but it was actually some fun stuff happening, so I was excited to see that.
Yeah, there are a couple teams who need to improve and get a little better. Texans, I'm looking at you specifically, but we'll find out as weeks go. M. Bosch asking, have you been to the new stadium in Minnesota, Jake?
US Bank?
I guess.
Yeah. I'm assuming US Bank. Yeah, I've been there. It's pretty crazy. It's just, yeah, a lot of good stuff. It's enormous. The roof is really cool. Feels like you're outside, but you're not freezing your ass off. So, when the Vikings play a home playoff game, if you go to that, you'd be able to sit there comfortably instead of dying of what's it called? Frostbite.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, there probably will be a lot of them this year. But I think the Vikings were still, if not my Super Bowl pick, they're definitely my NFC Championship pick. They're a good team.
Yeah, they look pretty tough right now. I mean, they're so good at home too. Even going back to last year, they just dominated home.
Yeah, the crowd's a very good crowd too. Very supportive, game-changing kind of crowd.
Minnesota nice.
There you go. Except for that skull chant or whatever. That one that doesn't seem as nice. More intimidating than nice. All right, that's enough. We got it. We're locked. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, make sure to check out the free trial of Fantasy Cruncher on Awesemo.com now while you can. It'll be available until the 14th of this month. So get in there. You can get a 1-week free trial to Awesemo.com with the promo code Strategy Show. That's Strategy Show. 1 week free, Fantasy Cruncher for free until the 14th, and then it'll be a premium add-on, and it'll cost extra money. So get in there, try it out now. Make some football lineups, make some baseball lineups, make all the lineups you want. I don't. Are there any other lineups to make? I don't even.
Hockey?
Know. Probably. Yeah, make a hockey one. Make a.
Oh, I'm gonna be. I'm already living on Fantasy Cruncher, back testing just a bunch of stuff every night. It's really cool. So just if you have held out to buy Fantasy Cruncher this long, now you have a chance, if you're an Awesemo Premium member, to add it on for a discount. So once that pricing comes out, jump on that. And I mean, I don't think you'll find a better tool in the industry. So yeah, there you go. So go check that out. Promo code Strategy Show will get you 1 week free on Awesemo and 3 more days of Fantasy Cruncher on our site until it is a premium add-on. So go check that out, and make sure to subscribe, like all the videos you see. We got a ton of content coming up, and also pray for Josh, pray for our boy Josh and his house and all his belongings. Tweet at Josh Engelman, tweet him a little support, make him feel loved, because we do appreciate him, and he's got a hurricane season does not seem fun. No,
say that much.
Yeah, neither of us have to deal with that, so we don't know.
No, earthquakes here, but none that I've been affected by, I think. Knock on wood. But yeah, that's it for today, guys, and we will see you again tomorrow with more stuff. So thanks for tuning in. Good luck.